Good afternoon. We would like to call our CRA Board meeting Tuesday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. We will have an invocation tonight by Board Member David Merker, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Board Member Mike Fitzpatrick. All rise.
The beginning, the starting anew and looking in the mirror and saying, thank God we have the chance to begin again. Thank God we have the chance to rethink. And most important, thank God we can correct. Let this year be a year of friendship, togetherness, and working together with all. God bless.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We call now for a roll call.
Here.
Yes.
Here, we have a quorum. Just like to make emphasis that the two board members that's absent tonight, they're in Tallahassee, Florida for Palm Beach County Day, representing not only the city of Boynton, but also Palm Beach County as well. Call now for agenda approval.
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Ready? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Informational items of the closure by board members and CRA staff. I'll start to my right, Board Member Fitzpatrick.
The only contact is I met with Culinary Solutions. They've catered a party at my house in the past and will in the future. And they might show up on one of my campaign report forms. That's it.
Thank you. Board Member Merker.
Yes, I had a meeting last Friday with the attorney Bonnie Miskell and landowner Davey Camilar.
Thank you, sir. I have nothing to disclose at this time. We'll turn it over to CRA staff for announcements and awards.
Thank you. Christopher, please come to the podium.
Christopher Burdick, Special Events Coordinator for the Boynton Beach CRA. So I just want to do a recap of the 45th Annual Boynton Beach Holiday Tree Lighting and Concert. It was very successful, even though we had to move it from the original date of December 4th. We had a great turnout. I'd say about 2,000, 2,500 people showed. Because it was on a weekday instead of the Friday night, it did sort of end about an hour early, but it started clearing out earlier than that. The tree lighting took place at 6:30, and that was followed by a concert by Solid Brass. We, of course, had food and beverages available for purchase by our local vendors, and we had retail vendors and children's activities along Ocean Avenue. Santa arrived by fire truck and helped light the tree with our commissioners, and it was quite successful. I'm glad some of you were there.
That it?
Yes.
Gee, that was quick. Thank you.
I don't want to belabor it.
Are we going to say anything about MLK celebration, living the dream, love, peace, and unity?
Oh, sure. You don't want me to do the holiday boat parade or the movies?
Well, I'm waiting on you to do everything, sir.
Okay.
Announcements and awards.
Sorry. After, move over, sorry. And then we also had the 44th Annual Holiday Boat Parade, also very successful. We had a huge turnout this year. We resolved our issue for the most part with Del Rey, and the boat parade continued along to the C-15 canal as it has for most years. The official viewing area was at our Boynton Harbor Marina, and we had a visit from Santa Claus, and we had face painters and balloon artists. There was food and drink also available there, from made available by Two Georges and the Boardwalk, both of our local merchants. Holiday music was provided by the jazz band Route Blue. And we, of course, asked guests to bring unwrapped toys for Tots. And yeah, we have a video that's made available both actually for the holiday tree lighting and for the boat parade on our website. I provided you guys with, with you gentlemen with the link on the website so you can view those pictures and the videos. And then we had a movie recently. It was on January 1st. We showed The Gremlins. It also was pretty successful. We had a great turnout. And our next movie is going to be Footloose in February 5th. And Tracy's going to take over for the MLK celebration.
Good evening, Tracy Smith
evening.
Coffee, Boynton Beach Marketing and Business Development. The Boynton Beach CRA partnered with the Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee and the City of Boynton Beach to host a series of themed events for the month of January. We had the parade on January 9th, and I heard it was a big success. And coming up this Friday is our Music on the Rocks free concert, and Pocket Change would be the band. It's an R&B band. On Saturday is the Celebration of Unity, which is a free concert. There's 3 bands going to be featured that day. It's from 12 to 6, and at 12, Speaker Box will take the stage from 12 to 2, and then 2 to 4 is the Valerie Tyson Band, and 4 to 6 is D-Funk and The Flow. There'll be kids' activities, a super slide, speakers, food and drinks for purchase. So there'll be a lot going on Saturday as we celebrate the Unity Day and with our Martin Luther King theme. And then Sunday is Living the Dream Gala, which is held at Benvenuto's Restaurant. And that takes place at 6:30 to 9. And on Monday is the MLK Makeover Project, starting at 7 a.m. They will be painting some houses in the heart of Boynton, I think a few houses. And then they're also going to take that again on the 23rd and do some more house painting. So that's a pretty big lineup for the MLK celebration.
May I cut in, please, if you're finished with the MLK?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you finished
Yeah.
talking about the? Yeah, I'd like to say something. Being a participant, I was very honored to be a participant, and in my 3 years being on the commission,
Excuse me, next time, Mr. Board Member Merkel will wait for his to be recognized. You're recognized, sir.
okay.
Now.
As I was saying, I found it an honor to be a participant. I was elated by the number of people that came out. I think the MLK committee did a extremely wonderful job, and I'm hoping next year that it'll even be more people. And it shows unity in the city of Boynton Beach. It shows that history is not forgotten. History is a learning, and from there, you're in the present to the future. MLK represents, Martin Luther King represents not just the past, but he represents the future.
Thank you, sir. In regards to the MLK celebration on Saturday afternoon at 5:15, all of the commissioners, along with the mayor and the vice mayor, we will all appear on the stage to represent unity here in Boynton. That's at 5:15. Finish?
Okay, yeah, that you're going to be coming on the stage at 5:15 for the Unity celebration. I do want to note for the Music on the Rocks, the times for that is from 5 to 9. At 5 o'clock, we have a food truck rally, and then we have Pocket Change coming out at 6 from 6 to 9. So I didn't state the times for that event as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, do you want to move on to the Gold Coast PR
Please,
Council?
please.
Okay. This year we are up for a Bernays Award for 2 categories. Best Marketing Special Event, which is the VIP Concierge event, Be Our Guest, which happened last April. And Best Marketing Material Video is the Project Seahorse video, which showcases the marina as a family-friendly marina. And we will find out if we win on January 29th. And the Gold Coast PR Council is an independent group of public relations, marketing, and communication professionals from Palm Beach County, Broward, Martin, and Dade. So it's we're pretty excited about the nominations.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. I'd just like to back up just to A, and that was a holiday tree. I was very saddened when I read in the newspaper and got an email from our city manager where the Grinch who stole Christmas vandalized our Christmas tree. I thought it was a disgrace. I'm just saying, people, I don't know where their priorities are, but we continue to invest in funds, invest in property, invest in activities, and the more money we pour in, sometimes more individuals come by and destroy. I was absolutely sad, and I'm just saying, I don't know where their hearts are. Moving on. Consent agenda, did we pull any items? Thank you.
We didn't vote on it either.
When you did approve the agenda.
Okay, all right.
We already approved it, sir. I'm just saying, if you want to make a public comment, you can, but I'm just saying we're past that, but go ahead if you want to. Sir, you can't talk from there.
Good evening, gentlemen, and Vivian, and I don't know the attorney's name. My name is Stephen Grant, Northeast 3rd Avenue. I see the difference between this consent agenda and the city's consent agenda is that there's numbers. I just want to know, could we get the numbers to like BG and Catering Inc.? How much money did they get out of the CRA and the other companies?
Sir, you could call Mrs. Brooks for that information. I'm just saying those individuals that sit up here that voted upon that, we had that information in our backup. You can obtain backup from Ms. Brooks.
Okay, so you guys know, but we don't.
Yes, sir. Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.
It's also available on our website, all the backup. So if you go to our website, catchboynton.com.
Thank you. Moving right along, information items, public comment log. See, we have none. Mark, public comment. Comment log.
Woodrow Hay, 427 Northwest Fifth Avenue. Just to go back to item 7B, I heard that, I believe, John, you mentioned that we had settled some issues with Delray Beach, and since that's been an ongoing discussion, with the permission of the board, could the executive director or John, you kind of tell us a little more about what the results were and what's been settled?
What was settled was that the representatives from Delray Beach would come to the captain's meeting and talk to them about continuing on. As you know, we're limited to our area as far as what we can do staff and funding-wise within our CRA district. So that's how we did it, and they arranged everything from our boundary south, so we didn't have to do that work. In the past, we had done that work for them, and they were the beneficiary of it. So now it's going to have to be a joint effort to continue that process.
So they're going to share in the cost of the overall?
They have not shared in the marketing costs or any of that, but what they did do is arrange for their officers and the bridge opening.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Thank you. Before we continue with public comments, we need to go back to marketing and business development campaign. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Tracy Smith Coffee, Boynton Beach, CRA, staff, marketing and business development. This month, I really focused on the MLK marketing. We did a lot this time around for this month-long event, and we designed posters, postcards. We installed signs throughout the city. We did a full-page ad in the neighborhood news, which reaches out to the Western community. We designed a billboard for I-95. We created a Facebook event page. We designed the Palm Beach Post digital ad, which came out. It started on the 8th, so it covered the parade, and it ends on the 17th. So it'll cover the Music on the Rocks event and also the Celebration of Unity event. And that's on the Palm Beach Post website for things to do. We also designed and produced a Pineapple full-page ad that went out in the Pineapple on the 1st, which covers all of the events. And we designed street banners, which you've seen driving down Boynton Beach Boulevard and Seacrest. They look fabulous. Very happy with how they turned out. And we designed and edited a 2-minute video, which aired at the commission meeting to promote the MLK events, which we use as a marketing tool on Facebook and also on YouTube. And then, of course, we did our monthly Boynton Forum advertisement, which featured, that was back in December, which featured Catch the Holiday Spirit in East Boynton for holiday gift cards at our local restaurants. And that's it.
Tracy, please stay up there. First of all, I'd like to tell you thank you for your hard work, the collaboration with the city. I want to say thank you for the banners as we travel down. I work in Broward County, and this year you topped Broward. I haven't seen their banner yet, but I want to personally say thank you. Although my chest is stuck out for all of the events that's taken place over in District 2, it is not a District 2 event. It is a citywide event. Just want to say thank you. We will now continue with public comments. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening again. I'd like to forget what I was going to say, but what I was going towards is that I heard that there was a great turnout and it's a big success. And I want to know, does the CRA do any numbers of people in attendance? Is there any sort of estimizing of who is there? Is it like 10, 20, or hundreds?
Sir, let me go ahead and address that. I'm just saying we're going to do a recap once this is all over with because we have to do a budget. Then numbers will be presented to the public as well as to this board.
But they do have a...
We do have a number, sir.
Okay.
We had 400 hot dogs. They ran out, so I know it was more than 400 people.
So 400 hot dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. And how fast did those run out? Do you know?
In less than an hour and a half.
Okay.
Okay?
I think it was more like, was it a half hour or was it an hour and a half?
Hour and a half. You will get a recap, trust me.
No. When is that recap?
When we finish the events. Probably at the next CRA meeting, if not the follow-up. I'm just saying you can always call the CRA and request Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me just say something. When I made this statement regarding that there were more numbers, this is the third MLK event I've been at, and I'm just speaking simply without definitions and without numbers from my experience and observing. So when I make this statement that it was much more successful, it was more, and I'll use this word, it was more grandiose. It was more entertaining. The people were more involved. And to me, it'll be even more next year. So what the MLK committee did, it was an impetus. It was a start. So as far as the numbers, it was obvious if you went to the MLK events the years before. So for someone who was there the first time, sure, we'd like to have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people. But again, from my being in the past, being part of the MLK, it was significantly more. And could I put it this way, happier.
Commissioner McCray, may I add something?
If I addressed Board Member Merker, although I am not really the official chair, I'm just saying please wait till you're recognized. Thank you. Ms. Brooks, go ahead.
I just want to point out, I've been here 11 years, and it was the best MLK parade I've been to by far. And also that the CRA did not do the parade, so we're not tracking that. We didn't do the health fair. That was the committee.
Okay.
The city helped with police and fire. But there's a number of these events that we're not necessarily doing, but we're promoting. So that's a difference. Some events we actually carry out and implement ourselves, like the holiday and that. So you'll see on our cover page estimated numbers. Now, we don't hire anybody to count except for Pirates, because Pirates is a very major investment for the CRA. Mm-hmm. And we do hire a polling company to do that. But as far as our regular movies and concerts, our staff takes a guesstimate, that's all you can do, and puts it on the cover sheet to say we had about this approximate attendance. So we do point that out. And what has happened over the years since we've been consistently doing these quality events is the numbers are going up, and we're getting a more diverse crowd. So that's really what we want, and the businesses are supportive of those events.
I'd like to thank our chairman, not chairman, our director for her comments. Board Member Fitzpatrick.
I think I've been to about 8 Martin Luther King Day marches, and this was by far the best well-attended, and I believe that was because the past marches that I attended were on Martin Luther King Day at 7 a.m., and this was on a Saturday at 11 a.m., so I'd say it was triple the turnout.
Yeah, I was there at the corner of Seacrest and MLK, so I saw everything, and I think they did a great job. And no, I'm looking forward to next year. I mean, I wish there were more events along Seacrest, that I don't have to wait until next year to do something like this again. And that's basically it. And then I guess the only other thing that I had to comment is that the Pirate Festival, I wanted to know if the CRA would consider changing its name to a Caribbean Festival, because pirates are, the definition is a criminal, and I don't think, Boynton should be promoting criminals. But that's my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Next.
Mark Carriageworth, 248 Main Boulevard. And as a lifelong Pittsburgh Pirate fan, I took offense at that last comment. But what I got up here to talk about is I want to commend the MLK committee, the city staff, Mary DeGraff and Wright, and all the folks in Parks and Rec, our fire department, our police department. The CRA did an excellent job of marketing and promoting this. You had to be either blind or stupid not to see the promotion, to be very blunt about that. It was a success. This was the first time that it was not a march, it was a parade. And that was a clear distinction, and it was to reach out and get more youth involved. It was also to make it so that the attendance would go up. Commissioner Fitzpatrick is 100% right. Getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to be lined up at 7:30 on a Monday morning when if you're fortunate enough to have it off, or if you're on your way to work and you're trying to fit it in, does not make it conducive to draw big crowds. And I can attest to that, and I know many people in this room that have participated for years, such as Commissioner McCray and Commissioner Fitzpatrick and Ms. Brooks. We've all gotten up at that hour, and then you have breakfast afterwards, and then you're like, okay, now what? Well, this year with with P2P helping with the health fair that was after, it enabled, and this is where Commissioner McCray was 100% right. The hot dogs went within an hour and a half because the grill master, the wonderful Goran Sims, he had that whole thing put away within 2 hours. And he's looking forward to Saturday when he will be tending the grill at the Unity event. So what I would like people to do is understand that this event is for all people. Martin Luther King strived and worked for what was right in his lifetime for all races. He worked with helping trash collectors. It wasn't about class. It wasn't about race. It was about doing what's right. And if we can get more people to come out to the gala on Sunday evening, the tickets are $55. You can contact anybody on the MLK committee to get them. And we'd love to see as many people there as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? The next time we have public comments, we're going to request that legal kind of keep us within our 3-minute period. Thank you. Old business.
Mike, do you want to give a status report on 480 East Ocean Avenue? Thank you.
Board, Mike Simon, Assistant Director with the CRA. The item before you is the status of the 480 East Ocean Avenue, the process by which Ocean Avenue Pride LLC is undertaking their investment in the property and potential and future opening of the restaurant. The contract, after some issues with the alleyway and title and transfer of that and the description of the alley that exists that's owned by the city still, It was effective on December 2nd. In the meantime, the potential buyers have been spending a great deal of time with their design teams. We've had several meetings with the city staff on their proposal and are looking forward to submitting for a major site plan application here. They have to do it before March 31st of 16. But we are moving forward on that project so far successfully.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from any board member? Thank you, sir. Next is project update, New Boynton Beach welcome signage on Federal Highway.
Good evening again, Board. Mike Simon, the Assistant Director with the CRA. I just wanted to provide the Board with the update on the signage project. Most of you, if you have traveled north and southbound Federal into or out of the city, you have seen the new signs that have been placed at the north end, just on the north side of the C-16 canal there on the old previously existing wall, and at the south end in the median, directly kind of across from the Walmart, just north of Gulfstream Boulevard. The board approved the contract with the collage companies in March for the project cost of $243,472, along with the contingency for any kinds of issues that came up outside of those known before the contract was signed. On October, we expanded the scope of the landscape and the site improvement area at the north sign to include the area all the way to the canal on the south end of the wall and to Northeast 15th Avenue at the north end of the wall, which I think was an outstanding decision and approved by the board. The sign itself is wonderful, but having, I guess, an existing condition that was less than the sign on either side really would have distracted from the success of the program, of the project. So we completed a walkthrough yesterday. Everything went through with flying colors. The only remaining item is the FP&L meter installation at the south end of the sign, which should happen by the end of this week.
Thank you. I'd just like to say to staff, excellent job. The signs bring out that more appeal that we're looking for here in Boynton. When I come off of Boynton Beach Boulevard, 95, I kind of wish we could put a sign there. I'm just saying,
I agree.
At least I could wish. In regards to the sign, the director called me that morning. I was on the phone with her, and she said that they installing the signs there, so she was all excited. She said they're on the truck, and I took off. I think when I got to where they were still on the truck. But anyway, after I finally got my bearings right, find out what the signs. Excellent job.
Good.
Thank you.
Glad you like it.
Thank you so much.
New business.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are have been requested the series.
Don't say commissioner, say board member. I don't want to get confused.
Board member. I got to switch my hat. The purchaser for 211 East Ocean Avenue, which is a local development company, has asked for an additional 60 days for the feasibility period. In other words, getting the design done, making sure that it's financially a good project and the city's going to support it. So they're asking, the actual feasibility period ended January 4th, and they didn't request that from me until we got a letter December 31st. So, and obviously that's in between our meetings. So I'm in support of this. They do want to come up and give you a little idea of where they're headed with this, so you're in the loop as far as what they're thinking concept-wise and design-wise. So Mr. Practice is here, and Mr. Williams, who's representing the owner or the potential owner, local development company.
Thank you.
However,
Mr.
staff
Practice.
does support the additional time. This is a much harder project to do. The building has never been renovated, and it's a house, and it needs to go to commercial, so the extent of the work is much more than on 480. And deciding how best to use it and what will make the most sense given market conditions, it's not as easy as 480, which is pretty much already done.
Well, hey, Board. Happy New Year. Tom Practice and Company. I'm the broker for, of course, the project. I'm standing in for absence of Bruce Kaplan today. He's in Philadelphia, couldn't make it. He apologizes for that. We wanted to come to you during the course of the holidays with a lot of lost time down. The concept was spoken about, tweaked, worked out to do the best that we could do for Boynton. And what they came up with was their original Italian concept was not going to work in this location. So what's happened is, after collaborating with a lot of the people involved and a lot of consulting done, they've come up with, or we've all come up with, a concept that is very casual, very kind of hip, let's say, and that would bring the Ocean Avenue into a real new kind of phase of what you want as far as entertainment goes, and clean fun. That would be more of a beer garden, brew house with a lot of outside activities, fire pits, outdoor seating, lush landscape. There will be barbecue area to put the barbecue concept with the beer. There'll be a full bar. There's going to be a total redo of the whole house. There'll be an inside-outside bar area. There'll be a covered beer garden with trellises and outdoor lighting. There's going to be a lot of outdoor seating and some interactive sports outside, meaning bocce ball courts in the front that are planned. This is all planned and proposed, which you'll see in the presentation. They have hired AW Architects, who I think you may be familiar with. They're going to give a little presentation on what the feel and look of it is. So I'll let Rudy and Jim take over. If you have any other questions for me, I'm here. Thank you.
Good evening, Jim Williams, AW Architects. Rudolfo will hand out some images. It's mostly reference images of what the envisioned grounds and building could look like. We did do a freehand sketch, which we'll put up in a minute. But the idea is very exciting, more of a casual eatery, a lot of outdoor space, respecting the historical character of the Magnuson House, and making it a lively place that people want to be. So these are images of other restaurants, obviously, but the idea is lush landscaping, outdoor seating and indoor seating, lighting at the back of the house, at the rear, in the area that will be described, that Tom described as a beer garden, casual seating to the side of the house, probably a music function, a quiet, casual, island-style theme there. Smokers, the theme of the menu would be smoked barbecue to go with the craft beer theme. Casual seating, concrete floors, high-top tables, low-top tables. To the right, you see a bar. That's the Tap 42 bar, which is a craft brew bar that Tom's been associated with. The bar is indoors and outdoors. There's a center island that has, I think in this case, he's got 45 craft beers. Again, the island style, the dense planting will be the major theme on the exterior. A good idea, I thought, from Tom and the group. Let's get some kind of action going near the street. Bocce ball courts were brought up, and I like it. The walkways to the rear, to the beer garden areas. This is the kind of concept we have: curvilinear, lined with bamboo and other tropical plantings. Fire pit. When you see the site plan, you'll see one toward the front and one toward the rear. Again, for casual gatherings, place where people want to be. So here's the site plan. The square toward the front with the curving walkway going up to it, that's the main house. You'll see the front of the house in the next sketch. It's intact. It will have a porch added to it. There'll be dining on that porch. The side views will be very much like they are now, especially the side with the landscaping and the outdoor tables. The beer garden effect is to the rear, heavy landscaping in the rear and down the east side. That's the view that you see now, and that's the proposed activated site. Again, this is an idea, a concept sketch. It's not fully worked out, but when we were engaged, we were asked to present this in a way that you would get the idea of what the owners have in mind. Any questions?
Thank you. Board Member Merker.
The restaurant is lunch and dinner or just dinner?
Both, lunch and dinner.
Board Member
What's the
Fitzpatrick.
dimensions of the lot?
You've got me. It's the dimensions. I say, we were engaged about 2 weeks ago to look at this. So we've got the survey, and we've based our site plan on the survey. But
About a quarter of an acre altogether. Quarter of an acre.
Or question the size, but I'm going to start dishing out. Thank you. Hours of operation, you don't know yet.
you want to address that, Tom?
Hours of operation, the proposed hours of operation are to be 11 to 11:30, doing a lunch, going straight through with no discontinue of the food service all the way till basically the legal limit of the law, midnight maybe on the weekdays, 2 a.m. on the weekends, and they would serve food and alcohol straight through during the operation. So they would serve continuously because the concept is very casual. It's come as you are, whether you're in a tuxedo, whether you're in flip-flops. It's very casual concept that's going to be, the food is going to be very, let me say, in line with the concept. It's going to be not only barbecue, but there'll be a lot of finger foods, a lot of foods that are conducive to the craft beers and the service, a lot of tapas or small plates, if you want to call it that. That's what it's going to be based on, the whole restaurant.
Thank you. In regards to noise,
there's going to be there's going to be music, of course, mostly piped in, and speakers throughout the inside and the outside of the house. I'm sure there's code, and I'm sure they plan on keeping it, under the legal code for the city, whatever the decibel level is or whatever it is. They don't plan on having large bands or groups that are going to play outside. They do plan on having, maybe in the afternoon on the weekends, having a kind of a Jimmy Buffett style entertainment, guitar player, singer, but no massive concerts, and no, it's not going to be a rock and roll venue or whatever, or a nightclub. It's going to be a lounge, well, let's say more of a beer garden restaurant.
in regards to your smokers, are they environmentally friendly?
Well, the smokers will be, yes, they'll be to code, because the health department and the city code will dictate what can be done, how they're covered, how the handlers are, the food handlers, yes.
Thank you. So you all are looking for us to make a move tonight. You want a 2-month extension? Is this what we're hearing?
Asking 60 days for
60 days.
Basically the due diligence period, yes.
Thank you. Back
Thank
to this board. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. I really wanted to have a lot to say. I'm just trying to make sure we don't have a fast meeting with the other two out of town. I don't want them to say, they could stay gone. Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would like to say is what happened to my opera with the Italian.
Now that you could do anytime you get ready, sir. Thank you.
It's called being educated and cultured.
Consideration of updated procurement policy. Thank you.
Susan
Sam.
Harris, Finance Director. We haven't revisited our procurement policy since January of 2009. And a while ago, Vivian asked legal to look at it for us. And legal made an excellent suggestion, which you see in the revised policy. And that is that we tie the content of our policy to specific Florida statutes that govern the content. And so the revised policy, that's the basic change to the policy. The content and the authority levels have not changed since 2009. It remains such that purchases of $25,000 or more will go out to competitive bid and be approved by the board. Our auditors also looked at the revised policy and passed on it, made some suggestions which were incorporated. Basically, it is a much simpler document for staff to reference and use in the future. It will be clear for the board if they choose to read it thoroughly, and the public also. So we're asking for approval of the revised document before you. Any questions?
I have none. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. Are we ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Executive Director's Report, new business in the CRA District.
We have one business for last month. That's Empire Tax Solutions, 503 North Federal, obviously a tax business. So that's all we have to report there.
Thank you. Development Outreach.
Basically, in the downtown area, I've been working on Town Square with interested parties on developing that, the 16 acres here. And Ocean One, been working with Mr. Camalier, Mr. Morris, and Ms. Miskell on that, getting appraisal on our property because they're looking to build on our property on the corner. And still working with developers on the hotel, and working with Mr. Delmeda on his potential development of his site, giving him basic different information. Heart of Boynton, Ocean Breeze East, MLK South, and Model Block. We've been working with Related Group and with Housing Trust. We did a lot of work, staff did a lot of work on this current application for funding to the state on what the community assets were. So that was hours and days of that staff worked on that. Model Block, we got through the turning over of 2 CRA lots to Habitat, so they will be built on in the time frame. And we're still working with the city on further acquisition of right-of-way and vacant lots. We're still working towards CRA plan consolidation to make it easier for developers and investors to understand what is the vision for the CRA area without having to look up multiple plans. Working with staff, city staff, Treasure Coast, and all that. And we always do work with local developers or even out-of-town developers on providing them maps, demographic data, apartment data, whatever the market thing that they're looking to do. So I met with several of those and sent out information to them. So.
Thank you. Before we dismiss and before everybody tear out of here, can you give us an update on the CRA Advisory Board, the status as we sit tonight?
Yes,
you.
everybody's been named by the City Commission. The 7 members have been named. I have been in contact with all 7 members and trying to get some days and times. Our first meeting, I believe, will be February 4th. I'm waiting for the speaker to confirm with me on that date. And we will meet at 6 o'clock. It's a Thursday. And we'll try to stick to 6 on once a month Thursday. And we're going to be doing education. CRA 101 will be our first meeting. The next meeting will be projects, both public and private, within the CRA. And we'll also have a meeting on our CRA plans, what they are, how they work, what they mean to development and to the community. And then we'll talk about, Susan will have a finance meeting, how the CRA gets its money, how we budget it, and all of that. So we're going to try to get them up to speed so they can start opining on items that will appear before this board.
Thank you. Seeing no other business coming before the CRA, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.